What is up, guys? So yesterday I posted a video about the little rat in Southport that's been, that stabbed all those people, killed all those kids, and I was talking about what's going to happen to him now he's in prison. And I was reading through the comments, and the general view was that he would go to a psychiatric hospital or he would be embraced by his own people. Now, I don't know if they go straight to a psychiatric prison, psychiatric unit. I don't think they do. I think they have to go to a normal prison, get assessed, have interviews with the psychiatrists, and then send them up from there. But Broadmoor's probably worse than normal prison, so he's not going to have a good time there. And the other view was that his own people would embrace him when he got to prison. Now, I've not been to prison for a while, but when I was doing time, it's probably different now. There wasn't that many immigrants. There was a few Muslims on each wing, there was a few Somalians, there was a few Chinese, and the Muslim, there'd be like 10, 15 of them, and they were the ones bringing the drugs in, controlling the wing, even though there was only a small group. And I'm not stereotyping, this is what I saw with my own eyes, right? There was always the ones bringing the drugs in, and there's a lot of druggies in prison, so they pretty much controlled everything. And then there was the Chinese that were cultivating. There was always like 4 or 5 of those, and they couldn't speak English, so they'd just sit to themselves. There'd be not bother no one. And then there was a couple Somalians, and I've been padded up with Somalians twice. The first time I got put in with this guy, and he was nuts. Half his head was shaved. He didn't go in the shower. He was a scruffy weirdo. So I ended up having to evict him out of the cell, and I don't usually do stuff like that, but this guy was nuts. He should have been in a loony bin, but he wasn't. He was in my cell, so I got rid of him, and then I got padded up with another immigrant Somali, and I thought, oh, no, it's going to be the same again. But this guy was alright, he was clean, he didn't have any money, he didn't have no family, but he used to hustle. He'd go around the wing making roll-ups for people, and he was funny, he was alright, he was a decent pad mate. So anyway, yeah, my people in prison was Doncaster lads, and you stick with your own usually, they'll look after you, you look after them. But I know that if a kid came in from Donny and he was in for stabbing children, killing children, then there's no way we would accept him. He would come onto the wing and he would go off on his back or in a body bag. It's as simple as that. We would not have it. So I don't think his own people will embrace him, because if they do, then they're just as bad as he is. But there's this whole thing. I was reading through the comments, and the usual parade were there. Racist, why are you being racist? Why is it racist? What's racist about being fed up of living in your own country where you can't get a doctor's appointment? My dad, this is just one of many things. My dad's torn some sort of muscle in his arm. All his arms are bruised, and he can't get into the doctors. He's been trying for 3 days. I don't even bother going to the doctors anymore. The last time I went, I walked up there, and it was like walking into Syria or something. It was full of immigrants, and they were all loud, being aggressive to staff members. The kids were running around, breaking shit. I had to wait outside, and none of them could be bothered to even get dressed. They were stood there in flip-flops with a big guts hanging out, wearing dressing gowns, and I thought, I had to wait outside because I couldn't cope with it. It was too much. My sister had to quit her job because she was getting abused. She was a pharmacist, and she was getting abused every single day by immigrants coming in, shouting at her, screaming at her, abusing her, and it made her ill, so she had to quit her job. So, if you're going to say it's racist, why? Because we're fed up of living around people that are disgusting, horrible human beings. I mean, look, if you come here and you're a good person, there's an immigrant round the corner from me, he's got a shop, and he's a lovely bloke. He's funny, you go in the shop, he's welcoming, you can say, oh, can I owe you £1? He'll say, yeah, no problem. And, he gets looked after. If somebody goes in his shop and robs the shop, the whole community comes together to stick up for him. So, we're not racist, we're just fed up of being taken advantage of. And we are tolerable people. But there's only so much you can take. And when you've got immigrants coming over, you can't get a flat, you can't get a doctor's appointment. They're rude, they're aggressive, they're stabbing people. There's a group up top where I live, and every night the police vans are up there, the helicopters out, all the things are all taped off, the alleyways are covered in rubbish. It's an absolute dump. So, you know, we're good, clean, hard-working people, and we're sick of living around people like that. So that's not racist, that's just common sense. But that's the world we live in now. It's like the world's gone mad. I was watching the Olympics yesterday, and there was a woman boxer, right? Now just picture this. You're a woman, you're travelling around the world in competitions, winning competitions, in order to get yourself a place in the Olympics where you can represent your country, try and win a medal, and be set for life. Because if you win a medal at the Olympics, that can set you up for life. So imagine you finally made it, you finally get your dream to fight at the Olympics, and the first round they put you in with a bloke pretending to be a woman. And she got punched once, and she said she couldn't take it. She says, I've never been hit like that in my life. Because he's a man. Since when has men beating women been acceptable? But if you mention out about it, oh, homophobic, you're homophobic. Why? Because I don't agree with violence, men against men beating up women. The world's gone mad. It's like every day there's something more ridiculous happens. And you say all about it, you're a racist or you're homophobic. I tell you, I'm sick of it. I think everybody's sick of it. And at some point, they're not taking it anymore. And they're not bothered if you say that we're racist. I'm not bothered if you think I'm racist now. I'm just fed up of being around people feeling unsafe in my own home. I don't feel safe walking to the street, to the shop. One of my mates last month, he was out and a group of immigrants have pulled up in a car and battered his legs with baseball bats. He couldn't walk for a week. And I said, well, what did you do to him? Have you robbed off him or something? He said, I don't know who the fuck they were. Never seen them before in my life. They were just talking in their own language and they beat him up and drove off. So, you know, am I racist? Because I don't want that to happen. Because I want to feel safe in my country. I want to live around people that are kind and generous. And, you know what I mean? If people come over here and they're good to work, if they're respectable, if they're pleasant to be around, no problem. But when they're coming over here stabbing kids and slashing people and beating people up in the street and swearing and abusing staff, and I'm just fed up of it. But anyway, I think everybody in England is now fed up living around these immigrants that don't appreciate nothing. All they want to do is cause misery and pain. And I used to watch that 24 Hours in Police Custody. But now every time I watch it, it's just foreigners stabbing people. And you see them in the street with the machetes. They've got like 10 coats on. They've got face masks on so you can't see who they are. They're running around with a machete thinking they're rock hard. And then they get to the police cell. And when they take all the clothes off them, they're like little twigs. There's nothing there. Fucking bitch slap would take all the fucking jaws off at once. But they think they're tough because they're running around with knives, and it's all immigrants. It's always Ungar Bungadong or Jamal Shegadog. And people are sick of it, right? It's not racist. It's just people are fed up with it and people are waking up now. Anyway, if you like the video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Bonjour.